sugaring community. This is SDC, also known as Fast Freddy. Today, I'm gonna talk about another sugar baby persona. So I'm doing sort of a series. I found that most sugar babies fall into like a category, one of these categories, or like a combination of them. So I was gonna do a series on the different types of sugar babies and their pros and cons, just so if sugar daddy is listening to this, you have an idea of what you're going to run into and what to expect. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, the next sugar baby persona, is the college girl. A lot of these girls on this site are college girls, and I know there's this there's like this stereotype of this slutty college girl or this fantasy, and I mean, it's fun and everything, but I think we gotta just kind of look a little bit more sophisticated than that, and not be like these little immature horn dogs looking for a slutty college girl. They are, they're beautiful, they're fun, they're very sexual. I do actually think they are definitely the best persona to get involved with, and I'll talk about it in a second. But of course, I don't condone any sugar daddy kind of treating women like little girls or their fantasy. I mean, even though these girls are young and they might be your fantasy, treat them with respect, but also, as usual, like my other videos, be firm with them. If they try to pull some shit on you, that's the balance here. So like I said, I think they're my favorite persona. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the cons first, and then I'll talk about the pros at the end. I'll save the good stuff for last. So some of the cons, so they are young, so it is kind of hard sometimes to connect. As I'm turning 40, I have kids. It's hard, like, when they're talking about classic movies, those are movies that I grew up with. Classic songs, those are songs that I grew up with. So all the stuff that I like is like old. They listen to all the new artists, into the new apps and dances, and there is going to be like a little generation gap. I think of myself as kind of young at heart. I do kind of keep up with stuff, but fact of the matter is there is shit that I just do not keep up with, and that ends up sometimes being apparent. I've been with kind of older, mature sugar babies, and sometimes it's easier to connect with them and get on a deeper level than physical. Not to say that some of these college girls some of them are very intelligent, some of them are very mature, some of them are fun to talk to and I can't connect with, but it's a little bit harder. There's less of a chance. Like, you'll run into a college girl and the age gap is apparent, and so you may not seem as fun to them as maybe that 20-year-old guy that they'll run into at school. Sometimes, not all the times, they can be a little bit immature, and again, this is relative. They're definitely more mature than some of the other girls on the site, but they're a little less mature again than some of the older sugar babies. Meaning, they may be late, they may be flaky, they may not have their shit together. They may have things like car problems, shit like that. They're trying to figure shit out with their major, figure shit out with their job. They may have viewpoints that you feel are like, oh my god, I used to think like that when I was a kid. So do keep that in mind. They are obviously young. They have options. They can, pull older guys. They can pull younger guys. So you are going to be sort of competing, keep in mind, with whoever they're seeing on campus, and also, they kind of have the pick of whoever they want if on the site and stuff. So just do keep that in mind, that because they're young, they have access to a lot more men. Some men don't want older girls. A lot of guys obviously want younger guys. Both younger guys and older guys want younger women. younger women. So, and then the last thing that I have as a con is keep in mind they are on the move. They have shit to do, as in they will graduate, they want to start a career, they will move on. So if you're thinking of getting into something long term with them, it's pretty unlikely, because there will be a point where they're like, okay, I got dreams, I got things, career, and this was just a stepping stone to my career. Cool. So in terms of the pros, now do keep in mind, so these girls, they're very smart. They're thinking, obviously, listen, I'm gonna have sex anyway, why not get something out of it? So one of the pros is the bar is pretty low in terms of their real relationships. Either they're gonna be inexperienced, so they won't have many relationships, so they won't be as jaded. And another thing is, if they do, you're competing with little immature boys. Now, of course, they have feelings for those boys, but you're gonna seem like, as long as you don't fuck it up, you're gonna seem like the mature, older professional, and so the bar is, again, pretty low. But then do keep in mind the con, that you're not gonna be this cute, fun kid. To them, also, a little bit of money is a lot of money, so they're not gold diggers. They're not going to be looking for expensive shit. A lot of the times they're just looking for basics. They're just looking for money to go out, money to help with their tuition, money to help with their, bills. So they're not expecting much. A little bit goes a long way. They often have financial aid. They're often working already. So that's a plus, that it doesn't take a lot to keep them satisfied. They're really smart and intelligent, though again, from the cons, they may not be on the same level. They may be immature, but you're not at least dealing with a ditz or someone who's hood. You are dealing with someone who's very intelligent, so that's definitely a plus. Obviously, pros are young. Their bodies are in their prime, so sexually it's a lot of fun. They're very beautiful, obviously. And they're oftentimes sexually free. This is where they've just gotten their adulthood, their autonomy, so they're willing to explore. They don't have any sexual hang-ups yet. I know a lot of girls have been abused, but at least they haven't been in 10 relationships where they're like, oh yeah, I've been there, done that, or I've been abused, or anything. So they're very open sexually. So definitely be respectful and fragile. Don't fuck it up for them. Make sure that you do your due diligence, please them, and don't be the one to cause them any hang-ups. And then another thing is they have time, so they don't have obligations like a single mom, and so they do have shit that they're doing, so that's at least good. But they do usually have a flexible schedule, although so I don't personally, I'm not kind of down with girls who just sit on their asses all day and do nothing. At the same time, like I said on my last video, if they're like a single mom or a professional, they may have their time may be tight. College girls often, obviously, they have classes, but then they have big gaps of time. So they're a good balance. They have time to work, but also they can make time for you, since you're, in essence, helping them out. So those are the pros and cons. Again, to me, this is that's the best situation to have a college girl. They're really beautiful. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot of opportunity. Sexually, there's a lot of opportunity, to have fun. And then at the same time, they're very smart. Do keep in mind, though, some of them are still immature, some of them are still gonna kind of flake and stuff like that, so make sure that you do have your boundaries. Comments below, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.